Question number 235 has been asked by the Honorable Madokwe to the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable House Chairperson, honorable members. The quality of coal going to Eskom is an operational matter. It requires management of Eskom to actually verify what quality and what quantity of coal do they receive. It's not a departmental matter, it's an operational matter. But what I can assure you of is that in South Africa, there is no shortage of coal. No, there is a quality of coal that is inferior. That's why one of the issues I always ask to the Minister of Electricity, now it's nice now. No, it's nice now. Now.
Order, honorable members.
The question that I always ask is, why would Eskom opt for trucking in coal instead of getting coal in the cost-plus mines next to the power station, so that that coal can come to the power station on a conveyor belt? That debate has started and is serious, because if you are taking coal through a conveyor belt, the quality of coal is not going to be tampered with. It's more secured, it's more protected. Number two, it is important to always remember that coal mining is not a social activity. It's a business activity. If you run a coal mine, you are running a business, you will send coal to Eskom, you will export other coal. So it's not a question of saying you stop export to fulfill Eskom supply. There's no such a thing. You order sufficient coal for Eskom, you allow the business to export the rest of the coal. Because they're running a business, they're making profits in the process, employ people, and that's what coal mining is all about. So, the question of Eskom supply on the basis of contractual agreement between Eskom, at our level, we have not received any problem raised by Eskom of shortage of coal. I know, I can tell you, that's for information. A week ago, I opened a coal mine, which is extending the life of an open cast by 25 years. Yeah. The owner is Seriti, it's a black company. Seriti is a black company. Do I have interest? Everybody say I have interest everywhere. I wish I had. I didn't have. But we opened that mine so that the quality of coal continues to improve, and those businesses must make and do business with whoever they can make business.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The first supplementary question will be asked by the Honorable Madokwe.
Thank you very much, House Chairperson. Minister, I think you missed the question. The question is not about the quantity of coal, but the quality of the coal. And this is coming from the fact that Eskom has been saying some of the service providers have been giving them low quality coal, which has affected even the functioning of the power stations, and has to some extent even affected and made them worse. So the question is that as a department that is responsible and has different entities like your CGS, your Mintech, and even your AMFSC, which would assist in making sure that the quality of coal is proper, what is it that you have done as the department to make sure that you assist Eskom in addressing and assessing and making sure that the coal that is used is of proper standard before it even makes it to the power stations, considering the fact that these power stations are very important as well in making sure that we stabilize load shedding? Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister.
Honorable Madogo didn't listen to the answer. Let me repeat it. Now let me repeat it. Now let me repeat the answer. I said, one of the discussions we're having with Minister Ramkhopa is why should we opt for tracking in coal to Eskom rather than taking it from cost plus mines on a conveyor belt? And that talks to the quality of coal, because when you track coal in, the risk of tampering with the quality is higher. But if you are getting it on a conveyor belt from the nearby mine, that quality would be more secured and it would be protected. That is the answer I'm giving you. And as a department, we can't take that decision for Eskom. We can raise it as an issue.
The second supplementary question will be asked by the Honorable Wolmarans. Order, honorable members.
Honorable Minister, while Eskom's power stations use middling coals rather than high-quality low-ash coal to run its power stations, what is the department doing to attract large investments in new and expansion of old coal mines such as Siriti's Klipspruit Colliery and Canyon Coast Guguletu Colliery? And how will such large investments minimize the uncertainty around the adequate supply of coal to Eskom's power stations and the impact that this uncertainty may have on energy security in the country?
The Honorable Minister.
Coal mines, very vibrant business. Turnover in 2021 was 130 billion rand. That was the turnover of coal mining. It's quite a good industry. Contractual arrangement between Eskom and the coal mine is not actually facilitated by a department. It's contractual agreement between Eskom and business people called coal miners. And they supply the quality of coal. That's why I say the quality of coal is a function of operations. And therefore it is Eskom management that is a responsibility and a duty to ensure that they receive coal of the quality they require. It can't be a departmental responsibility.
Order, honorable members.
There you are. Now,
Honorable members, please don't interrupt the minister.
the problem with people who never ran a stock shop is that they always intervene. They never ran a stock shop. Now, when you try to simplify complex operations, they won't understand. They've never ran a stock shop. All I'm saying, Eskom has a management that should ensure that the quality of coal they get and the quantity of coal they get is what they have agreed on contractually with the coal miner. That's it. It's not a departmental matter.
Thank you. The order, honorable members. The third supplementary question will be asked by the Honorable Swart.
Thank you, House Chair. House Chair, arising from the Minister's response, we know that Eskom
Order,
is
honorable
not,
members.
we know
Please
that
proceed,
Eskom is
Honorable
not,
Swart.
we know Eskom is not short of coal and receives the coal it requires. And the ACDP agrees with the Minister with the conveyor belt, and we look forward to the new Largo mine delivering coal to Kusile. That possibly will resolve a lot of issues. But the problem, Minister, and where the government can come in lies with criminal syndicates, the so-called coal mafia operating, which is partially behind the poor performance of Eskom power plants. These coal syndicates supply poor coal to Eskom, even contaminated with metal and rubble and subgrade quality. And we see this. So, Honorable Minister, the question is, what is government doing to stop these criminal syndicates and close these illicit coal stockyards and dump sites, which are in effect resulting in the quality of coal that is required by Eskom being stolen and being removed elsewhere, resulting in the poor quality of coal being supplied to Eskom. But we agree with you on the conveyor belt, and we look forward to seeing those conveyor belts implemented at all power stations. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister.
At least half the question has been answered by the honorable member. In that conveyor belts linking coal mines to a power station is the safest way of supplying coal. If Eskom prefers trucking in of coal, actually they are facilitating the work of syndicates. That's what I'm saying. Because you truck in coal, it is tampered with on the way between the source and the power station. And you can't say, what does government do on that? Suggestion we're making to Eskom will emphasize it. Prefer conveyor belt from a mine to a power station. That will work, whether it is Ego in Kusile or Kutala in Kendal or Mata at Mata or Krill at Krill. If you do that, you secure the quality of coal, but if you track it in, syndicates will intercept trucks and contaminate the coal. And that is how it is. So it's not a government facilitating syndicate. It is syndicates intercepting trucks that truck coal into Eskom power station, which is not a normal operating of a coal mine and a power station.
The last supplementary question will be asked by the Honorable Milam.
Thank you, House Chairperson. I might not have run a tuck shop, Minister, which you appear to know a lot about, but I have run several successful businesses. Minister, there is a lot of noise, both in this House, in discussions around the dinner table, and the Shisanyama, and on social media about how we're exporting coal we desperately need to run our power plants. This is a complete red herring. The real issue is that South Africa's preferential procurement policies are excluding coal producers who may wish to supply to Eskom. Any attempt to reserve such coal production presupposes that Eskom has a need for it, which, as you have pointed out, is just not true. But I really want to address the second part of the initial question. Minister, will you kindly inform the members of this House that the coal power plants which are being decommissioned or are planned to be decommissioned are in fact being shut down, not because we lack coal, but rather because they have reached the end of their usable lifespan, that there is no rush to decommission, but it is instead planned end of life that has been on the cards and included in our energy planning for many years. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister.
I think we should appreciate the fact that commissioning and decommissioning of power station is not within my scope. If I had the scope, I wouldn't have decommissioned Komati, because Komati was giving us electricity at 70% electricity availability factor, but it was decommissioned. Today, by whomsoever, today we have a solar plant in Komati. That solar plant, instead of 1,300 megawatts that Komati provided, gave us 200 megawatts. Therefore, that decision to decommission Komati, I submit, it's a wrong decision. I submit. This power station that say must be closed, I think, let me not get into that, leave it to the minister. I said to him, you will take all the hot potatoes, because I don't know if you remember that at a point, there were 3 power stations that were mothballed. Those 3 power stations are today operating, they are performing above average. That is Camden, that is Grootvlei, and it was Komati. All of them are performing above average. So if the power station has come to an end, it can be decommissioned. But if the life can be extended, it should be extended because the crisis we're having is availability of electricity today.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.